What if there were no women here on earth?
What if there were no men here?
What if there were no black people here?
What if there were no white people?
What if you had no enemies, no rivals, no winners or losers?
What if? What if? What if you knew that everything here depended upon its opposite? What if God depended upon the devil? What if truth needed a lie to exist? Does that make any sense? Join us and see if we can fully understand the apparent relationship of opposites. This is Who Am I?
Who am I? Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute truth. That's our purpose.
Well, welcome, class. Okay, in the last class, we were getting into joy and pain, opposites, pleasure and pain. We're looking at this thing that drives most of us crazy, relationships, okay? And we're looking at this thing called relationship. Is there a setup for pain? All right? Is it, if you're in a relationship, and do you have to be in a relationship? Is it possible not to be in a relationship? And can there be such a thing as a happy relationship? Truly happy relationship. And we're looking at this thing called opposite. God started supposedly the first relationship. Him and I guess Satan. And then God had Adam and Eve. And he wasn't satisfied. He was unhappy with his relationship. He should have gone to a psychologist, maybe. But anyway, the point being, I would charge God, boy. I tell you, I might have gotten a whole lot, Myrrh and frankincense, and no, that was Jesus, right? That myrrh and frankincense. Yeah, frankincense. Yeah, I was going to say Frankenstein. But anyway, so we close there. But we want to look at this thing called, do you have to have a relationship? Okay, is it possible for there to be something other than relationship? Now, Lao Tzu supposedly said, a true teacher, Lao Tzu was the founder of Taoism, and he said, a true teacher is out to destroy you. Okay, I want to make a caveat to that. I would say a true teacher is out to destroy himself or herself. Okay? And because it seems like there's something called a teacher and a student. Yeah, Glory.
I was at a conversation yesterday, and it was about the lessons that are available for us to learn in life. And one lady spoke on, my life would be great if there weren't people.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that, and it was like my response to that would be, I don't need other people to make my life great or not. It's like my life is great or not right here with me. That sometimes I feel a lot of happiness, whether there are people around or not, and sometimes a lot of sadness, whether people are around or not. Mm-hmm. But it's like that first relationship is between this I that I call a human and this I that I am as spirit.
Well, yeah, you said that the lady said, she said I'd be
great if there weren't people around.
Well, maybe
we'd do away with people.
Maybe she did away with herself.
Well,
okay.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, for people to go take a gun, and blow their brains out or anything like that. You're not accomplishing anything like that, because that was a thought that told you to do that. Mm. What we're looking at is, how do you get rid of that thought? All right, that I thought. that tells you everything. You know, it may tell you to commit suicide. It will tell you that you're happy in a relationship. It will tell you that you're sad, that you're in the wrong relationship. It always tells you something. And it's a liar. Jesus called it the father of lies. Okay? Yeah, Greg.
Well, if relationships wasn't important, why when people go to jail or prison, to really break them, they put them in solitary confinement,
Yeah.
away from people, and they usually do the job. They'll come around
Yeah.
to acting right or being the way that the establishment wants them to.
Exactly, because that's the worst punishment you can give somebody, is to say that they're not related. You know, Jesus supposedly said on the cross, one of the last things he said, supposedly, my father, why hast thou forsaken me? He thought he was in relationship to a God. And Jesus, no, you're not. You are not in a relationship with God, Jesus. You are God. I am God. Not Jesus, though. Not Alan. Not Buddha. Not any human. Only I that is. Okay? And so, yeah, it looks like in a prison, the human mind, which thinks, and once the human mind thinks, and that's the foundation of a human, is that I think, then I'm going to have to think about something. That's a preposition, right? English majors, okay? So that is now requires an object. And I got to have an object. And so if I'm thinking about, and then my mind takes over. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, okay? And it brings up all the guilt and fear, okay? And it goes into the past, because all it can think about is the past, which it takes into and creates a future. Past is guilt, future is fear. They're the same, really. Okay? So, yeah, in the prison, the solitary confinement, you know, is one of the worst punishment, because I got to face my mind. And my mind's crazy. All right? I don't care. Yeah, I know most of you say, yeah, he finally told the truth. But, you know, the human mind is crazy. It's crazy to think that all is not all. That's insanity. And that's the whole of what insanity is. John.
In the human mind, then, could you say that the first relationship is with yourself?
Yeah, okay. That your body, mind. Yeah, that what you think you are. Even, you know, my little granddaughter, your grandniece, okay? She, you know, even though she's just 2 and she's now beginning to get something what we call a self-concept, all right? But when she came out of her mother's womb, all right, she had an identification with her body. That was programmed, okay? So that was the self who she thought she was founded on that she thought she was a body. And we all think that we are a body. Now that's that self-preservation. You know, if I took out a gun right now and pointed at all of you, you go, don't shoot, or something like that, you know, because you were said, identified as a body. If you can begin to give up that, and that's all Jesus was doing on that cross, all right? He was trying to give up that human identity. He wasn't dying for my sins. He was being really short-sighted if he had died for my sins. He was realizing he had to face himself, all right, which is his ego. You can call it ego or whatever you want to call it, all right? But this body-mind identity, this I that thinks, and he had to realize it's nothing so that he could realize I and the Father are one and the same, which is really your only job here, John, or my only job. Jesus has the same job as Alan or Leonard or Archibald or even Donald Trump. Okay? Sarah.
But isn't that the same with our concept of relationship? Is to recognize that there's no one else except for myself.
Exactly.
That it's just one. And that takes away that belief in a relationship. The relationship is just that oneness, that it's just me. No matter who it is, Donald Trump, that's me.
Yes. Yeah, Carol and I were talking about this before. You know, for me, see, Donald Trump at the level of human thinking, that which gets closest to or closer to God thinking, although you can never get to God thought, is for me to realize that there's no one outside of me. See, it looks like, Joan, you are outside of me because you identify as a body and I identify as a body. All right? But what if I'm spirit? Invisible. Okay? Then how can I say there's something separate from me? God is the only one that can say there's nothing separate from him. Her, she, whatever you want, pronoun you want to use. All right? But humans, I will have something called me and a not me. A me, you, and the world. Okay? And that's a lie because that adulterates God, which is the only existence there is. Greg and then Gloria and then Leonard. Greg.
Well, in understanding this, how have this brought more clarity and peace to Alan Carter?
Because I realize anything Alan Carter says is a lie. Anything that Alan Carter believes is a lie. And I have to keep confronting Alan Carter. Okay? Because Alan Carter, Freud said that the basis of the human personality is anxiety. So Alan Carter is always, oh my God, well, Greg's going to embarrass me with a question and I won't have the answer. You know, oh my God, I got to pay my rent. Oh my God, you know, I got to deal with, you know, Donald Trump. Oh my God, oh my God. You know, Alan Carter is always coming from, you know, oh my Gods. Okay? And so when I realized that the source of the oh my Gods, or the fear, the anxiety, whatever you want to call it, is Alan Carter's mind, I always have to bring it back to me, wind it back over here. It isn't about Donald Trump. I know you might say, wait a minute, Alan Carter, but if I tell myself the truth, I think about Donald Trump to keep myself from knowing myself. Okay? And if I could really get the truth about it, I will realize that there's nothing but me or I. And that means no relationship. Yeah. Which one, y'all?
That sounds like what Leonard was saying the last show about it's like what you want us to see or what there is to see is coming from the I that I am above the line, coming from that versus coming from the lacking machine. Mm-hmm. That when you come from all, then things start showing up that's just the way the way it is.
Yeah, for God, everything's perfect. Because God's perfect. Infinite perfection. Now, Alan Carter can't see everything as perfect. You know, I see Donald Trump as not perfect. That's true. Excuse me. But I mean, you know, I have these judgments. Okay? I have about, you know, right and wrong, good and bad, and all of that. The opposites. Okay? But when I see and I start with everything as perfect, all is perfect. All is well. Then, as you're saying, what do I do next? Because the human always has to go to the do. You know, give me 5 easy steps, 3 easy steps, or whatever. What do I do next? I don't know. Okay? Only God knows. So what? Put one foot in front of the other foot, in front of the other foot. Do what's next to do. Does that mean, as Carol and I were talking before the show, you know, if I was in Germany in 1941, you know, and I see a man named Hitler, you know, knowing that Hitler is me, all right, what do I do next? I don't know, but probably I'll take up a gun and fight, you know, for the Allies against Hitler, all right? Or if I'm Miss Rosa Parks in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, and a racist white, you know, bus driver tells me to go to the back of the bus, I probably would sit in the front of the bus. Okay? But then again, I may not.
That's right. No.
All right? I said probably. But then again, I may not. But this is where it's so important to be still and know that stillness will tell you what to do next. Okay? And that's why it's so important for you to learn how to get still within yourself. You know, that's all when Jesus was going to the Garden of Gethsemane right before he was arrested. He was trying to get still, quiet this insane asylum, okay? So that he can, the quieter it gets, the more that, you know, you can hear, okay?
So is giving up judgment one of those, like, supposedly steps to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
still?
But when you give up judgment, you give up the human mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should say, hey, you gonna
Yeah,
do
but
any
yeah,
of
that's, yeah,
this? How
that's,
can you do any of this without giving up your human mind?
huh?
How can you do any of this without giving up your human
You
mind?
won't do it, you can't do it all. I mean, the last step has to be taken by God. In the sense that, yeah, like for instance, we are here having this conversation. And this conversation is sort of a rare conversation. You know, they don't, you know, people rather listen to, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta type, you know, stuff, okay? So, and I'm not trying to toot our horn. This is not, you know, bragging and stuff. But when you ask questions, profound questions, you begin to cleanse the mind a little bit. It's kind of, I like to use the analogy, it's like when you open the blinds in a room and the sun begins to come in. Now, actually, that's not happening. Because God has never hid.
Right.
All right? How can all of the infinite hide or not be somewhere? Where, tell me where omnipresence isn't. No such place. Okay? So it's all imagination. It's all a dream. This is just a dream that we are separate from the all, which is a dream, which means it ain't real. Okay? Leonard.
A lot to digest. I guess if someone was to watch this show today for the first time, I know they would want to know what relationship they're going to have to you and to the panel. And so I'm trying to find out, and I know you've had workshops that I've been to that you would speak more about yourself personally, but the question I have for you, Dr. Carter, is like, you arrived at a place somewhere in your awareness or consciousness that was beyond the mind, that seems to let you identify with the all and with perfection and with the eternal. Do you have like what events occurred in your life that brought that about for you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I could give you my life story, you know, and I would have to.
Come to a workshop.
Yeah, some things, you know, I better not tell you about. Right, ball? No. You know some of that stuff. Remember back in Morehouse, man? Okay, we won't go there, right? But it's like, see, number one, I have to get, you know, I was born a male, black. Grew up in Alabama, all right? My parents were middle class, teachers, okay? These experiences that I've had as Alan Carter came through stuff that, all these factors I had no control over. I had no control of being being a male, or being Alan. No control over being, you know, I have, some of you might disagree with this, I have above average intelligence. Don't laugh, Paul. You know, I could have been born, you know, retarded, but I wasn't. Okay, you know, being born in America, growing up in America, in Jim Crow, the South. All these experiences were predetermined and determined how I held these things. So yes, it looked like I went to Morehouse and, you know, saw was under tutelage with Dr. Mays, and that began to open me up some. Having lived in Europe a year, I can say, but it's mainly stuff I didn't have any control over. Neither do you. You being born in New York, you know, and not having religious parents, you know, so forth, you know. So you really get clear, things just happen. Now I can act like I had some choice to begin to question. Okay, our father was a chemist. And he loved the scientific process of questioning, okay? And you remember, John, when you used to have, you know, dinner where I would ask questions a lot, you and Bobby would get mad with me and stuff, you know. I love to ask questions. But, you know, the thing is that just happened. So, yes, if there's any one thing, I would say be open-minded and ask questions. That's what Dr. Mays tried to teach us at Morehouse every Tuesday morning. Remember, Ball? You know, so you know that's that for me. And then my life just sort of happened. I can't take any credit for anything in my life. I can't take credit for having a PhD. It just happened. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is a little bit funny and strange because, like you said, we have no control over anything.
Mm.
Well, somebody's going to be watching this show had no control over watching
That's right.
the show.
They say, I hope I yes I do. Turn it on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to just tell you something personal that happened to me that
Okay.
stopped me from wanting to ask questions and be curious in life. So I didn't grow up like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet I'm still here.
Right.
You know, in the situation that might have, you know, warranted other people to say they got here through curiosity. I got here because I couldn't be curious. I had to know something rather than to question it. And that's what really, you know, like you said, that's how I arrived
Right.
at a point where I'm at right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And even though you grew up in New York and I
Right.
grew up in Alabama,
Yeah.
we're arriving at the same, you know, apparently appears that way. Because
Right.
this is not reality. It appears that Leonard growing up in New York and Sharon growing up in New York and Joe and I growing up in Jim Crow, the South Alabama. Okay. But here we are on, you know, in May 2017, it looks like in a time space that we're together and we're asked, it appears like that. Get clear, it appears. That is not true for God. God doesn't know anything about this going on. How could God know about anything in time? That would mean he would have to stop being eternal. And God ain't going to give up eternity for just to please Alan Carter's thinking. Okay? I can make up a God that knows about time. I can call it Jehovah, Allah, or whatever, Zeus, or whatever. But that ain't God. That's just a concept. Okay, Paul?
I mean, we're talking about all as well as God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I just gotta keep bringing that up
right.
because
Yeah, the God that you and I were taught, you know, the God of the Bible, or the God of what are 2 billion. Is it 2 billion Christians and 1 billion Muslims or something like that around the world? Whatever. You know that God, okay, that most of us call God. That ain't God. That's a God concept. That's a belief. All right? That is not true. You should ask, what is absolutely true? All right? Now you're getting to the source, and that's what religion means, getting to the source. Religio. Great.
Well, as soon as you come out of a non-dual type of thinking, that's it. I mean, if you say that it's 2, it's over. I mean, it's over with pretty much.
As soon as you say something, it's over.
Okay.
I mean, excuse me. As soon as you say something, you lie.
Okay.
All right? I don't care if you're Jesus. All right? As soon as you open your mouth, you're a liar. All right? Because as we were saying in the last show, you're using concepts. You're using words. All right? And words are not real. They are symbols. And all words symbolize separation, that there's 2 or more. And so how could God know about separation? When I said God, I mean the all. Okay, the infinite absolute, the omnipresent one. How could it know about anything that's separate from it? Infinity can't do that. But that's what we have made up because we are so egotistical. We want to keep our identity as human. We want God to do something for us. You know, or we want a therapist to make us feel better. All right, that's the way I make my money. People come to me with problems and say, help me solve their problems. Or people go to church and they say, help me, you know, oh God, did the preacher preach today? And God, I felt so good. And that lasts about an hour or 2. And then they got to pray, well, God, please help my sick grandmama. Okay? And then God, they might see something called a sick grandmama getting better. Okay? And then they say, praise the Lord. Then there's another problem, you know, that they're going to ask God to help them out with. How can that be a God? He wasn't doing it, and then he wouldn't do it until you asked him. How can that be? Is that love? He's going to hold off this healing. He's going to hold off healing your sick grandmama until you tired. You come to church, you know, that you get on your right knee or your left knee 5 times a day or whatever.
You got to have the cloth.
Yeah, you got to have the cloth and all that. You know, is this a God? That don't make no sense. Yeah.
So you were saying that, you know, our topic is relationships. So we would say that joy and pain are two sides of the same coin.
Right,
Correct?
right.
So what would someone say if you said God and the devil are two sides of the same coin?
Same thing.
What do they have in common?
Everything.
Wait, go on, Sister Sharon.
Everything.
Love and faith.
What you want to stand up and explain that?
If it's oil, it's everything. It can't be anything that's not in the oil, so it has to be everything. It's the same thing. It's no difference. It's really what we project into that oilness that makes it, that idea, that concept, that belief, that judgment, whatever it is. But it's the same thing, and we're the one that start to label what it is. It isn't until we say what it is. It just is.
Right, John.
So then, within within that concept, then there's no such thing as an opposite.
Right, exactly. The Course in Miracles says the greatest fear that the human has is that everything's the same. Yeah,
So I keep thinking about
we got 1 minute, okay? So
well, maybe I'll wait until the
no, just put it out there real quick.
Well, your analogy of getting to Chattanooga, that it appears that Jesus is closer to Chattanooga, Chattanooga representing the heaven. It appears that Jesus is closer than, say, a Hitler.
Once you think that Jesus is better than Hitler,
Yeah,
you're caught
you're caught.
in the human mind.
Okay.
And I know that because that sounds like I've been smoking funny cigarettes. Okay, at the human level, obviously Hitler is worse than Jesus. At the human level, I want you to get that. All right, but in truth, like we said, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's the human mind that has to have distinctions and differentiations and differences and opposites. Okay, and that's human thinking. And I just thought that I saw a sign that says wind it up. Okay, so we will wind up here. I realize these concepts may be rather difficult to get, but keep digging. If you stop, ask yourself, who said stop and why? What are you protecting? Just ask yourself some very hard questions. If you honor absolute truth, you cannot stop. You have to keep going on. I'm sure at one point or another you have asked, what's the secret of life? Perhaps you even wonder, why does it have to be a secret in the first place? What's up with all the mystery? Well, on Saturday, June the 10th, we're spending the day exploring the very topic. Won't you join us?
Meet Dr. Carter in person at the Secret of Life workshop on Saturday, June 10th. Visit drallencarter.com for details.